Hello there.
Hello.
Ahoy, matey. How's it going, Dave? I see you're dancing or something over there.
Yeah, he's moving around quite a bit.
Are you playing I'm Bad by Michael Jackson? Nothing like some lunch coffee to get me going.
Well, David, good to see you at the clay shoot. And it was even better to actually sit down and talk to you. Found out some interesting things.
He's all action, no talk today.
Apparently.
Spanning on Toby. How's your internet doing there, Sam? Got good reception?
We'll see.
Hey, Sam, are you working on something with Barbara with Peerless?
Yeah, so they're on kind of.
On her internet?
No.
You might call her because she seems to think she's working with you.
Okay.
Because they're looking at putting fiber into all three of the locations.
Oh, cool.
So holler at her because she was like, yeah, your friend Sam. I'm like, yeah, okay. So it may be one of those reps that jumped ship and went back, circled back.
Remember that heated up and then it just went ice cold, remember?
Yep. And maybe she's still thinking that she's pushing it, but
yeah, okay.
You know,
I'll get,
regardless, it should still be going through me, so it should still
right.
You know, I still wouldn't mind you taking care of that for me.
Okay, no problem.
And I think you can save them some money. I mean, that's
I think we
the other
can.
part of it. Oh, I actually, through my Microsoft partnership, met a great guy. And everybody that's on the phone might listen to this, but he finds technology tax credits for businesses and doctors' offices, manufacturing, things of that nature. He actually works with an accounting firm that goes and finds tax credit up to the past 3 years. And, you know, for me and my wife, it was, you know, about $40,000 worth of tax credits. You know, a couple companies they've looked at, and because of their corporate structure, it didn't work out. But you talk about a cool thing. My accountant, you know, ultimately kind of steered me away just because some of our write-offs and stuff that it might flag some other things. So we opted not to do it. But they're out there. I've worked with companies that have done them. So if anybody is interested in that, holler and I'll give you the name and number.
I'd like to get that contact information because that sounds like it's very complimentary.
Okay. Yeah, I will send that to you.
So we're up to 12 participants.
Dr. Parvez is walking on the beach.
Yeah, yes, I am. I'm walking on the beach, and I actually have on the beach in my office in Arlington, I actually got a under desk treadmill, so I am able to walk and work. And I highly recommend. So for all our sedentary lifestyles and everything has to be Zoom now. People used to go to work, don't even get to go to work. Yeah. So yeah.
I like my sedimentary lifestyle.
Well, but it's not good. It's not good for your health, right? It's all about improving your lifestyle. I even have my resistance bands, so you can exercise. It's all about promoting good health. I walk the walk, I talk the talk. So anyway, actually, Robert, I had a question for you. I'm quick about the PCI stuff. If I only take credit cards on like a and my computer is connected only by Ethernet cable, suppose, and that's like we have a physical swipe machine connected to computer, connected to Ethernet. Do I have to do all the whole PCI, wireless network thing?
Unfortunately, yes. The only way that you can even remotely get out of it is if you are not using your merchant ID number.
Uh-huh.
If you have a merchant ID number, they're checking your stuff. There is a way that if you're going out to a website, say you have a third-party application,
Right.
that third-party application can handle it, and you're not keeping anything locally. So you still have to answer all the questions. This is
I don't know. It's ridiculous. I don't know. Anyway, okay. I'm gonna try. See, because we also take payments through our website, which is very rare, but majority of it is like swiped in person at the point of service. I don't know. Okay, thanks.
Okay, everybody, tell us what's for lunch.
I just finished Chinese.
That's Chinese. I want that.
Dwayne is Chinese. You can go to his office.
A shake.
I had a decent sized breakfast this morning, so we're doing lunch late.
Yeah.
Strawberry yogurt and Cheerios.
Wow,
That
that's
sounds
a
like
good
fun.
choice, Heather.
I have to eat late because of my thyroid pill, so I'm typically an hour or two later. No lunch yet.
I'm gonna have El Phoenix. My son's gonna pick it up.
Ah.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Delivery.
Love El Phoenix.
I knew those sons were good for something.
Well, I'm gonna write this down so I remember when I'm not
Once in a
sure
while.
anymore.
I thought they were just good at stealing our beer.
Well, that can be at the top of their resumes, right?
I just realized that I've been on mute this whole time, Dr. Parvez, or did somebody mute me? Because I was making too much noise.
I did not mute you. I don't have anything to do with it.
I gave you this whole long thing about the whole PCI compliance stuff.
You did?
I did.
I didn't get it.
Yeah. Robert, you petered out after about 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. I've been talking this whole time. It's okay.
No, we did not hear you. You could repeat that or put it in the chat box.
Yeah, we may do it offline, but
Offline would be fine.
yeah.
yeah, just
Offline would
holler.
be great.
So.
Well, it is
Hey,
12:01. We could get started. So
Oh, 19.
let's change up the batting order a little bit. And I'm going to go from my screen here. And historically, poor Robert Blake has either missed his shot because he had to go somewhere or he has gone last. So let's have Robert, Sean, and Bo as our first three people.
Well, cool. I feel special now.
You are special.
Wait,
I'm
Robert.
Huh?
Wait, Robert, make your your camera go down because we can just see the top of your head. There you go.
Better?
I was
Yeah.
just about to say.
What was the guy from Tool Time? The next one.
Oh yeah, the
Oh.
neighbor.
Well, as everybody I think knows, I'm Robert with Bit by Bit. I'm our resident computer expert. My job is to protect my clients' data and manage their technology. So when your computer is giving you a fit, call Bit by Bit. And to help Becky out, please type your name and your phone number this time into the chat box so that she can take attendance.
Let's do cell numbers today.
Oh, perfect.
And then next week we'll do business lines.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Sean Reckemeyer, Elite Health Plans, and I am your health insurance expert, or at least I'm supposed to be. I do my best after 20 years plus. And I know I work with many of you and some hopefully in the future, but right now we're gearing up for the marketplace to open up here in next week. So there's new companies in town. If you want to plan with no doctors, I can show you where to go, marketplace. But if you want to be able to use it, I'll show you those plans too. We know it all. So Sean Reckemeyer, Elite Health Plans.
Good afternoon, Chamber. Bo Bearden here with Cloud9 Voice. We provide a unified communications and collaboration platform for small to enterprise businesses. Whether you're a one user company or 100 users, we can handle your communication needs. Unlimited local and long distance calling, web collaboration, where you can access your business phone system from any device, your PC, your laptop, your tablet, a mobile app, voicemail and voicemail to email, transcribed voicemail to email, staff chat and full presence of all of your staff, posted on desktop, file transfers, desktop sharing, and web and video conference calling platform, call recording, call detail reporting. We have a fully integrated phone system, business communications for your business. Drop the line, join Cloud9.
All right, thank you very much. Bo did a demonstration for us earlier this week, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. Next, can we go with Dr. Parvez,
Oh, hey.
Dawood, and Becky Giroux?
Okay. So this is Dr. Parvez from Arlington Integrative Medical Center, where we not only talk the talk, but we walk the walk of lifestyle medicine, health, fitness, and really what you can do to empower your body to prevent, to cure, reverse chronic disease with diet, nutrition, exercise, and not just taking a bunch of medications. We have all sorts of therapies, natural, alternative, and holistic therapies that help you relieve pain and improve your health and wellness. So check us out, Arlington Integrative Medical Center.
Thank you, Dr. Parvez. Mr. Mabon?
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dawu Mabon with Mabon Leadership Group. I'll be presenting later on. The only thing I'll say for now is go Dodgers, world champion, Los Angeles Dodgers.
Congratulations, and you look handsome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next we've got another handsome member, Becky. Then we're going with Toby, and then that lady killer, Dwayne.
Well, thanks for that intro. Dawood is a hard act to follow, though. I'm not nearly so fancy-fied, but he does look, I know he's going to be a great speaker. I'm Becky with River Legacy Foundation, and we help people fall in love with nature. And just like Dr. Parvez is walking the walk, we get people out in nature. She did walk with the doc walk in the park. And, you know, it's just, it's so important for us to get outside. And I was just reading how depression and anxiety are just at a height right now with all the, well, I don't have to tell you why. And did you know that you don't have to take medicine to, I mean, I'm not saying you can't or don't, but going outside makes you reduce stress. It brings down your blood pressure. It increases your creativity, your cognitive development, reduces obesity and diabetes risks. So go outside, come to the nature center, learn about the outside.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I feel like I'm a little league coach once again because we've forgotten the batting order. Toby, Dwayne, and Heather, please.
This is
All
Toby with Digital Corporate Services, and this week's weather poem is Spring is sprung, fall is fell, summer's gone, and it's colder than usual. Speaking of cold, we're actually embroidering lots of knit caps and luxury fleece blankets, and I get to test them all, so I stay nice and warm and cozy. But think about employee appreciation for this year of COVID and get something for your employees for the end of the year. I'm Toby with Digital.
This is
Yeah.
I'm Dwayne Lee, Southern Flare Photography. We are rocking and rolling with Santa Claus sessions on the 15th and the 22nd, and we were down to 4 spots left on the 22nd only. So if you have any little kids that you want to get into see Santa, you get them in right now because they're going fast. And I've got Heather on my shoulder, and after she gets through, Sam, if it's all right, I'd like to introduce our guest today.
That is perfectly fine.
Hi everyone, Heather Primo Travel Services, and that's Barkley. He wants me to get out of town, and well, I can't, so I'm going to just use a squirt bottle to shut him up. But let's start planning your vacations for next year. Some unfortunate news coming out of Europe, both yesterday and today. France and Germany are going back into lockdown until December. And Germany and the Nuremberg Christmas market has been canceled for the second time since World War II.
Okay, and we've got a guest visiting us today, Bob Alexander with the Orchard at the Arlington Highlands, the senior living facility. Bob, why don't you give us a quick 30-second intro of yourself?
I appreciate it, Dwayne. Thank you all for having me today. I'm fairly new to Arlington. Some of y'all I've met before, trying to find my way around the market. But we are excited to bring this facility, which is a 55-plus independent lifestyle living community, and community, I think is the key word here in Arlington, to the area. Have some great residents here. Beautiful property. If you haven't been here before, love to have you out, show you around. I appreciate y'all's time and the opportunity.
Dwayne, didn't we have a ribbon cutting out there last year?
Yes, we did.
Oh, then it's Bob. It's a great place. I really enjoyed my time out there.
Thank you. Thank you.
One of our chamber staff actually lives there. Bill Lynch is out there.
Bill, yeah, that's right. Okay, next we're going to have Corey, Angie, and welcome back Joni. We understand we don't have to pay the ransom. She has escaped.
Hi, I'm Corey Calloway, Calloway Financial Services, your friendly financial advisor. I help folks find their money, help estates locate securities that are lost. Damsels in distress, I'm always assisting them. And I actually got off the phone with my lady who I helped buy cows. She was so happy. She made $18,500 selling 20 heads, or the calves, should I say, for the year. So she's got some spending money. She was calling in a panic, thinking the market was crashing, and didn't know she had any money left. And I was happy to tell her, oh, we've gone up since we pulled the last money out for more cows. So I guess next spring we'll buy some more cows. Anyhow, no business is too small, no check is too large. Before you give it away, all Callaway.
Hey everybody, Angie with Digital. I know Toby spoke, but I have just come across this fabulous new winter gift. It is a duffel bag, a scarf, a hat, a coffee mug, a candle, and a chocolate stirring stick for your hot chocolate. It's a wonderful gift for clients or any partners in your firms. So you guys give me a call. Thank you.
I'm Joni Wilson at Affiliated Bank. Great to be back. I had the chamber board meeting 2 weeks ago and then was on vacation last week. But I'm at Affiliated Bank. I do real estate lending. I do commercial lending, lines of credits, equipment notes. I help businesses with their cash flow. You might want to purchase some single family investment property. But I'm always looking to take your money and open up your checking account and be your friendly banker in town. So Joni Wilson, Affiliated Bank.
Next, we have David Berg, Jennifer, and Mike Walkenhurst.
Good afternoon, Chamber. This is David Berg with Colors Professional Floor Care. A good referral for me is only anyone. We clean all types of flooring, anything you put your feet on, and a whole lot more. We also do a water extraction within an hour. We'll do that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with just one phone call. Thank you so much. Y'all need anything, don't hesitate to ask, because the answer is always no unless you do.
Hey everybody, it's Jennifer with Price Right Trees. Right now our big projects are obviously Christmas lights. Also be on the lookout for the second episode of Taking Roots. It's an editing process right now. And also Erica is working on a new service for our company doing gardening. So we're working on that so we can come out to people's homes and teach them how to grow vegetables and things like that. So keep us in mind.
Okay, Mike Walkenhorst here, and great to see you all again. Wish you could see me, but believe me, I'm looking okay. The today the 360 West issue came out that's got me featured in it, and it's the first year they've done mortgage professionals as somebody to honor as a top mortgage professional. So excited about that, and just excited to be here and helping as many clients as I can. If you know anybody with questions or concerns, it's a great time to get a home for the holidays. Let's get out there and buy while the rates are great. All right, thanks again, guys.
Next up, we have the threesome of Carol, William, and Amanda.
This is Carol Howells with Stewart Title at 440 North Center, and we've been here over 30 years. We are open. We're doing business. We have a real estate transaction with an attorney buying some personal land up in Palo Pinto County. I have things going on in Ellis County and Collin County and Dallas County and Tarrant County, just not Parker County because it is subject to a hack and ransomware, so their real property records and other court records are frozen. So we're good in 42 counties. So let me know if you need anything. Thank you.
William with Climate Experts, AC and Heating. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
I'm a residential and light commercial HVAC contractor. We specialize in residential, but do light commercial. Sales, service, installation, maintenance. We provide homes and small offices. Weather has changed for now. Looks like nicer next week, but if you need your heaters checked or replaced, or you might not know if they need to be replaced, give us a call. We can check them out, especially if they're gas. But if you need a heat check, just give us a call. William with Climate Experts.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda from McKnight Insurance Services. If you haven't had your insurance policy shopped in a while, stop by and have us check it out for you. Once again, Amanda
in a minute,
from
baby.
McKnight Insurance Services.
Okay, you can put that right there.
I'm sorry, Amanda, were you finished? I got distracted. Okay, next we have Lisa, Paul, and Kelly.
I need to unmute myself. Hi, Lisa Barton with Hot Works. We're a 24-hour health and fitness studio with infrared. We work out in 125 to 130 degree heat. It's great for detoxing your body. A lot of good health benefits to this. So I want everybody to come and try it. I haven't had anybody come. Thanks.
Hey everyone, Paul Brody of Brody Consulting, and we have just launched our 40th best-selling book. We're actually in the process of launching 41 right now. So moving up the charts. Main thing we do is publishing and also virtual summit creation. So if you guys are looking or know someone is looking to launch a virtual conference or to get out there and get published and share their story, then you know who to talk to. Paul Brody with Brody Consulting. We help you share your story.
Good afternoon, everybody. My mommy's name is Kelly Sauter, and she's going to help you make sure you get all your life insurance needs taken care of. And guess what? If you know anybody who had a baby, it's the best time to get life insurance because there's nothing wrong with you yet. So call my mommy, Kelly Sauter, with Transamerica Financial Services.
Wow, Kelly, your
See you
kid
later,
talks brilliantly for an infant.
I know, right?
I needed him for my commercial. Hello.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Didn't even move his lips.
Okay, did I miss anyone? Okay, well then I'll do mine. I'm Sam Elliott of Schooley Mitchell of Arlington. We save our clients money in credit card processing, small package shipping, telecommunications, and waste cost management. And today, this is the best week of the month for me because I get to deliver 3 different reports that say one of our clients saved $3,000 on shipping. Another one saved $1,500 on credit card processing, and another one saved another $500 on their credit card processing. So it's always good to deliver good news. So Sam Elliott, Schooley Mitchell. So we can transition now into any thank yous anyone may have.
I do. I'd like to thank David for helping out at the clay shoot this past weekend. I wanted to thank Corey for actually participating in the clay shoot. It was good to see him out there. And of course, always Becky for being an integral part of making that clay shoot happen. So, and a future thank you to, my mind just went completely blank, Carol Hollows, for helping me through the nightmare of which is my grandmother's estate and getting that all straightened out. Even though I canceled on her yesterday, we are going to be meeting next week. She is the only person I'd use for my title work. Thank you.
I've got one. This is, for my mommy again. She says, thank you very much, Dr. Shabana, because you saw my daddy. And unfortunately, it wasn't a magic wand that fixed the pain, but because herniated discs, there's not really a magic wand. But let me tell you, he was a much more pleasant man after he saw Dr. Shabana than before. So thank you very, very, very much.
It was my thank you as well. Thank you, Kelly, for bringing your husband to me. And also I wanted to say thank you to Becky for coming by to pick up the brochures, saving me a trip out there. So it was nice for her to come and visit the clinic and arrange things for my donation for the clay shoot. And thank you to David Berg for offering to do a referral and asking for my contact information for a referral. So thank you all.
I'd like to thank those at River Legacy. Had a blast, shooting my shotgun. If y'all recall Damon Ike, he and his wife were on my team, and I was assigned another lady, Elizabeth Marks, who's a banker, and she was frankly a riot. We had a really good time. Got to see a lot of the good people out there, a lot of fun. Also like to thank Ken Matner. He's working on changing up my signage in and outside my office, ordered some more stationery and looking for another logo for another business entity and some more stationery there. Thank y'all. And Sam, when this is over, can I talk about reviews? I need to announce that problem I have.
Yeah, we could talk about that. Becky?
Okay, I have quite a few thank yous. I'd like to start with Robert Blake at Bit by Bit, who is a board member out there working and also a photographer. And let's see, a gopher, just willing to do anything that it took. We appreciate you, Robert. Also, I definitely want to thank Dr. Parvez. I did get a great tour and picked up some brochures, but also we really appreciate the donations that you made for our cooler raffle. I know that the folks were excited about that. And I'd like to thank Heather and Dwayne at Southern Flair for making donations for our cooler raffle also. Thank you so much. Professional headshots. Oh, yes, please. Corey, thanks for shooting, having a blast out there with us, and also for bringing out 2 more people for your team. And Elizabeth said, right back at you. She thought y'all were great too. So thank you so much. Angie not only donated cups, the metal kind of, what do we call those? Like Yeti, but cups like that, that were engraved with our beautiful logo on them. They were fabulous. And she delivered them, and they're going to make some smiley masks for me so that my grandbaby recognizes me.
Digital is happy to help you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Toby, I know that you did not stop her and probably said, yes, yes. So thank you very much too. Thank you, Angie, for delivering those. And also to David Berg, he got there early and he stayed late. He was a volunteer, just impressed everybody. And it was just wonderful to have you out there. Thank you so much for your time out there. And as always, thanks to Sam for promoting that too. He talked it up for us. So thanks, everybody.
I, by the way, hit 100% of my shots.
Okay, are we okay on
With your
on,
camera?
Leslie, I think we missed you, didn't we? On the 32nd?
Yeah. 1 second. Justin gave me a script. So here we go. It says, as you all know, this has been a really turbulent and upside down year. This has caused some businesses and families to experience some hardship to their finances. Some have lost jobs, others have lost income for an extended period of time and now are back working. Some people have been forced to sell homes or properties due to the pandemic, while others have realized they need to buy a bigger home. Others have made significant changes to their business as a result of COVID-19. All the changes make tax planning become really important, and not only know what to expect, but to take necessary steps this year to realize significant tax savings. We can help you identify opportunities and implement strategies to save you money. If you know someone that has gone through a lot of changes in their finances this year, please send them our way. Leslie with S&P Press CPA.
Thank you, Leslie. We can return now to any thank yous that we didn't get back to.
Yep.
Sean?
Yeah, I'd like to thank David Curtis for, I guess it'll be a future referral here with a new business brewery starting up next month. And Diane Lopez from, I guess it's My Nurse Family, looking at her employer as well for some group.
Yeah, and we sure miss David Curtis. He took over for me last week when I had a bad connection, and he did announce his absence, and we appreciate that you know you do think enough about us that when you're going to miss, you do tell us about it. That's very appreciated. I thank all the you guys that commented on the list of members that came out, because you know, I know you get a ton of emails, and I'm very glad that you're actually reading them. Regarding that list that came out, it shows that we have 58 active dues paying members in our group. Now that's a bit inflated number. That just means their dues are paid up to date. Many of them have gone out of business, moved out of state, or have become completely inactive. So what we want to do is figure out what we want to do with this list. And I'm going to suggest that we take off the inactive people for now, or split up the list and actually, as Joni suggested a couple of weeks ago, reach out to the people that are members and paid up and ask them to rejoin the group in some form or fashion. Because I know that 3 of them have told me that they're not planning to rejoin, and that's primarily because they weren't receiving the kind of help they felt from the networking. They weren't getting the number of leads that they were expecting. And they told that to me privately, but you know, we need to do a better job. I think we can all do a better job in referring our other businesses. So with that being said, I can send out the list and that I have marked up of the people that I consider inactive. That's people that we haven't seen this year. Do you guys want to take a look at that and either add or comment to it, or
yes, please.
What do you think the next step should be?
Yes.
Please send it out.
Okay, I'll send that out, and then we can figure out how we want to make that list. Somebody requested that we add the telephone numbers and email, and I suggested to Becky that let's get the consensus of the group where we don't have to do this many times. We don't have to do it in iterations. We just do it once and for all. So Becky, did you have a comment about that?
Yeah, I was wondering if everybody could have a Google Doc, because it would be live, or sheets. It would be live. And so if you know of something, we could have a column on there for notes about it. You know, oh, well, you know, I'm thinking about Rich Froelich, for instance. You know, Rich is still part of our group, but he's working at bike repair right now. And, you know, we could put that on there that he's interested and would come back that kind of thing, just so what we know.
Becky,
Okay,
I
yeah, well,
love
why don't
that
we do- why don't-
idea.
Becky.
And sorry if I can finish real quick. I love that idea, Becky. And if we could have 2 tabs on it, one that is current, and then another tab that has past members. Because I don't know about you guys, but I do very actively try to refer people that are current. But sometimes there's somebody who visited or somebody that used to be in the past that I still want to get a hold of for some reason. And it would be super awesome to have those past members as well in a different tab. And that way we could also reach out to them periodically and say, hey, you should really come back.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea, ladies. I think, Becky, why don't you and I and David and whoever else is interested become a little bit of that information subcommittee and figure out how to make that Google Docs work, okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
and-
Corey, we understand you have a unique dilemma that you've been recommended too many times and it's breaking your Google. Tell us this fun story.
This is not breaking Google or anything, but being an investment advisor, every 4 years I have a inspection and audit from the state of Texas, my regulator. And I've been under inspection audit, inspection's a kinder word for it, about 5 months now. And I finally received my letter detailing all the things I'm doing wrong. And one area is reviews. I am not supposed to have reviews on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Google. Though I appreciate all the wonderful reviews, because I didn't have any negative reviews from anybody, but I can't have them. So I turned my review page off or tab off on Facebook. I figured that one out. I turned off the ones on LinkedIn. Google, unfortunately, I cannot. And I have a long dissertation of a chat that I copied going back and forth, and I can't remove Google reviews. So I've asked a number of people in our group to do that. And I want to thank David Bird, because he figured out how to do it and he's passed on the instructions. Sam's working on it. Brian Acosta's done it. And then Diane Lopez with Meredith's group, my nurse home family, we'll do it here soon. I finally figured out where Diane came from. I've got one person left that I have no idea who this person is. He's not a member of our group or anything, but I think he might have been at one of the Marketing 2.0 workshops. And if I can find his contact information, I'll call him. But basically, I won't read the whole dissertation, but it's kind of like false advertising or fraudulent using testimonies, this and that. Not that I've used the testimonies. I didn't solicit any testimonies. I just received testimonies. But that's the world I live in.
Okay.
I can't have any fun, and I can't play with you guys. So please do
Okay,
not
well,
write
let's-
up testimonies for me. Thank you.
I'll get back with you later this afternoon. Okay, Corey.
Yeah.
David Curtis, we're glad you could make it. You want to do
Hey,
your
Stan?
commercial?
Oh,
Sure thing. Thanks, guys. Sorry I'm late. I had another meeting that ran long. David Curtis, Hops HR, your local HR guy. I'm here to help you with all your HR compliance, process policies, payroll, training, all that fun stuff when you have employees. I'm here to help you understand where your risk and liabilities are and hopefully reduce them, but also increase your productivity and profitability with your HR systems. So give me a call if you need any help with any of that. Thanks.
All right. Just
hey, Sam, I had
Yeah.
a thank you.
Sure.
So I actually got a few of them. First thing I want to do is give a shout out to Dr. Parvez. Not only did she give us a great session last week, but if y'all noticed today, she was exercising while doing this call. So totally saw you on the treadmill there. Very impressive that you practice what you preach, because exercise makes all the difference. Wanted to also give a few shout outs to people in our Rotary Club, Arlington Highlands, Robert Blake, Corey Calloway, Becky Nussbaum, DeWoo. You guys have all been new to the club over the past few months, but most importantly, you guys have been active. So it's no longer a 1 or 2 person show. We've really got a lot of engagement, and you guys are working on multiple projects with us and really excited events that we have coming up. And, I can't thank you guys enough. I mean, Becky, your honorary member and the way that you've just stepped in, I mean, we can't thank you guys enough. We're thriving thanks to you guys.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, just to remind you guys of the new form. Oh, yeah, Becky?
I just wanted to say that once again, I buried in the long epistle that I sent that if you emailed me back and said, treat no trick, then you would get a treat from me. So that pays you for reading all the good stuff. And those winners are Dwayne and Kelly and Leslie Lake. And and Mike Walkenhorse. So way to go, everybody. Woohoo! You'll be getting a treat from me, or you could come to the center and get it. Just let me know.
Okay, great. Remember, the new format is we're going to try to do all our business and our presentations in the first 30 minutes. Then we'll have a speaker for 20 minutes. Then we'll have an activity for the final 10. So to get Dawood his full 20 minutes, Dawood, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sam. Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor and privilege to share with you guys, to speak with you guys this afternoon. And so once again, my name is Dawood Mabon with Mabon Leadership Group, and I help individuals and organizations unlock their leadership potential. Now, what does that mean? Back in 2016, I became certified as a coach, speaker, trainer with the John Maxwell team. And as I was going through that process, one of the books I had to read was John Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And as I was reading that book, I had to read it actually over and over, almost about 4 to 5 times I had to read it. And one of the things that stood out to me in that book was that we all have what we like to call a leadership lid. And that lid will determine the level of our effectiveness. So for example, let's just say you have a leadership lid of a 7, well, then your level of effectiveness for an organization can only go up to a 6. The good news is that our lid isn't permanent. We can raise our leadership lid. And the way we raise our leadership lid is that we grow the leader. Now, when I talk about leadership, sometimes some people, they'll say, Dawood, well, I'm not in a position of leadership. I'm not in a position of authority. And this brings me to the second thing that stood out to me as I was going through the process of becoming a certified coach, speaker, trainer, is that leadership actually means influence. So, every one of us, even if you don't have a position, a title that identifies you as a leader, you have influence. As a matter of fact, the average person will influence over 10,000, almost 10,000 people in their lifetime. So one of the things that, one of the ways I help individuals and organizations, unlock their leadership potential is I do something called mastermind. And so what I want to do for my time, the 20 minutes that I have, I want to take you guys through kind of like a condensed mastermind. And actually, I'm going to be starting a new mastermind this coming Monday, November 2nd, on John Maxwell's book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And today, what we're going to do for the time that we have remaining, I'm going to take you through the law of trade-offs. And the way this is going to work is that I'm going to do a little teaching from the law of trade-offs. But what's going to happen is I'm going to ask you guys questions. Now, and when I ask you questions, I want you to be able to unmute yourself and answer that question. And you don't have to worry about having the right answer or the wrong answer, because the purpose of a mastermind is to gain the collective knowledge of the group. And even, for example, let's say if I call on one person and then I call on somebody else and you have the same perspective as the person who previously spoke, that's okay too, because you may have a different angle even if you have the same point. So what's going to happen is I'm going to do a little teaching. I'm going to talk about a few things, but then I'm going to ask questions, and I'm going to be pulling the collective knowledge of our group so that we can add value to one another and help raise our leadership lid. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So the law of trade-off says that you have to give up to grow up. And there's this statement that says, people will cling to an unsatisfactory way of life rather than change in order to get something better for fear of getting something worse. I'm gonna read that statement one more time. And actually, I'm gonna copy it and put it in the chat box, because what I want to get you guys' thoughts on this statement. It says, people will cling to an unsatisfactory way of life rather than change in order to get something better for the fear of getting something worse. I want to start with Becky. Becky, when you hear that statement, what are your thoughts on this statement about people clinging to an unsatisfactory way of life?
The first, when you were saying it, the devil that you know, as opposed to the devil you don't know. And I think sometimes we are afraid, and so we stay stuck instead of being brave and trying something new. The other thing that I think of is that sometimes we get so used to something we don't see other possibilities. Those are my thoughts.
That's good. That's good. You brought up a point where you said, we see, we're so comfortable in seeing things that we can't see a new way of doing things, new opportunities. We may say to ourselves, this is my lot in life, and there isn't anything better. And there's another statement, I believe it was from James Allen, As a Man Thinketh, and it says, people are anxious to change their circumstances, but are unwilling to change themselves. Therefore, they remain bound. And from the statement you said, Becky, is that pretty much all of us, we want to improve ourselves. We want a better situation, but like I said, life sometimes knocks us down, and then we become comfortable, because whenever we make change, it's starting over. It may be going into a new area that we don't know about, we're not familiar with. And so then we wonder, okay, well, how will going into this new environment make us look to other people, instead of focusing on, okay, what is our ultimate goal? What is our purpose? What is the vision that we have for our life, for our organization? What is that priority, instead of looking at, okay, well, what will happen if I let go of my current situation? I'm gonna shift over to David Berg. David, what do you think about when you hear this statement, people will cling to an unsatisfactory way of life? What are your thoughts on this statement?
Well, people don't like change, but it's inevitable. It's progress that's optional.
That is an excellent point, David. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And Kelly, why don't you go ahead, because you brought, and David, that is a great point. Kelly, why don't you go ahead, chime in. What are some of your thoughts on this statement?
Well, the moment that you said that, it just, again, the time that I did that other training with you, I swear you're a godsend, because I was just having this conversation with my dad and telling him, I know that I operate better, both as a businesswoman, and then just in life and having a good day versus a frustrating, stressful day, if I have 30 minutes, give or take, to myself before the chaos of the day starts, and am able to, think about what I'm grateful for, and able to make sure I've got a hold on the plan for the day, the priorities of what need to get done, and just have all of my, just start the day right. And then fast forward to the end of the day, when I can do that again, kind of summarize my day, make sure and tuck everything where it needs to go, make my list for the next day. Like, I just know I operate as a better person holistically, but also specifically with business when I do that. And yet for the last several weeks, probably even longer than that, but I'm too embarrassed to think about it, I haven't been doing that, because I have let my kids and my hubby take over all of my time, which I've justified to myself is important to have relationships with your kids and your husband, which is true, but it's not an either or scenario, it's both. And it's exactly what that statement was. And I need to go to the chat really quick to say it, but it's me accepting an unsatisfactory present life situation of feeling frustrated and scattered a lot because I'm being pulled in so many directions, but I am unwilling to go that extra mile to change it, to get up an extra 30 minutes earlier because I'm tired, or to whatever, because I'm afraid somehow that it's gonna weaken my relationship with my family, which when out loud, that's like the next extension of it is, once you talk about it and realize it and say it out loud, it's so stupid. There's no way my kids are going to hate me because I get up 30 minutes earlier without them. Like, that's just not going to happen. So it's just so invaluable, guys, to go through stuff like this with Dawood. Like, I've read that book probably as many times as he has, but going over it again, much less with other people, you just get new thoughts and tangents and ideas. And thank you, sir, for bringing that up, because now I get to make a change.
Right. Kelly, thank you so much for that insight and what you just shared. And that's also, the value of when we're doing masterminds together, is that because you're able to get that collective knowledge of the group. And, just like when Kelly brought up, getting up 30 minutes earlier, one of the things it reminded me of, there's a gentleman by the name of Michael Hyatt. He has an article that he wrote, it was like years ago, and it was called Slay Your Dragons Before Breakfast. And one of the things it did for me was it put into the importance of getting up early in the morning, especially because I have 3 children, 16, 14, and a 5-year-old. And mainly the 5-year-old is the one who, of course, gives us the most work, because, sleeping patterns, and just like Kelly was talking about with having a newborn, your sleeping pattern, everything kind of gets thrown off. But you have to be able to kind of find that time when, okay, when are they asleep? And maybe, like I said, you're having to make that sacrifice. You're having to make that trade to get up earlier when everybody's asleep, when everything's quiet, so that you can have that moment. So that when, some people are big into, having morning affirmations, or somebody, people who are people of faith, they want that time to have a quiet time to be with God and pray and meditate. And so you have to, I love that article by Michael Hyatt where he talks about slaying your dragons before breakfast, because that was what helped me to realize, well, okay, I need to go to bed earlier. I need to turn the TV off and not stay up so late, so that I can get up and do those things, so that I can have a quiet time, so that I can work out, and then also so that I can read and grow and stretch myself. And that's probably some of the things we have to ask ourselves, even, not only just to grow ourselves individually, but even with your business. What trade, and I'll go with Corey. Corey, what are some trades maybe that you have to make in your business in order for your business to go to the next level?
Trades? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
I missed the word.
Yeah. So what are some trades or some things that you're doing currently in your business? Maybe there's some things that you may need to trade you're currently doing, but you're going to have to trade off and do something else in order for your business to go to the next level.
Well, I've been doing that all year. I quit as a securities broker, became fee-only investment advisor. I eliminated 3 regulators. I'm down just the state of Texas. I moved all my book of business from Hilltop Securities to TD Ameritrade to eliminate transaction charges for my clients. I've been learning new software nonstop. I still have 2 more pieces to learn. So this is a big growth year, a big change year for me, so I can continue on for another 20 years or however long I can work. But giving up, time, just, I don't know if that answered your question or not, but that's what I've been up against.
No, you did. And like I always tell you guys, there's no right or wrong answer, but you're giving some great points. So, because Corey, why did you make those trades or make those changes?
It was do or die. My business would be gone if I didn't make this change. In fact, there's a lot of securities brokers out there that do not realize what's happened to our industry. I won't go into a long dissertation because we don't have the time, but our industry was turned upside down last year by Charles Schwab.
Mm-hmm.
And where I was, I had a $25 transaction charge if I bought or sold a security. Now it's 0 when I moved to TD Ameritrade. So my clients benefited. And that goes to their bottom line rates of return. So I had a friend call me and said, Corey, you have to move.
Right.
So
go ahead, Corey, keep going.
I'll go ahead. I could go on forever, but go ahead.
No, but you're sharing some great insight. I like you said do or die. And then you said, a friend of yours, so you said, Corey, you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to make this change. And it reminds me, because also in my role, I not only am a leadership coach, speaker, trainer, I'm also an accountant, and I work for my church. I handle their finances. And of course, we all know with COVID, the one thing that happened this year is that in-person worship services was eliminated. And that was a big change. Now, fortunately for our church, we had been streaming services beforehand. And even before that, we had set up to where we were doing online digital giving. We were at that point before COVID, we were at about 30% where people were giving the majority of their contributions online. Well, when COVID hit, that jumped up to 70% of our contributions were coming online. And so we were fortunate as a church where we didn't have to lay people off. It was because we were in that position. But it wasn't as if, you know, everybody was. One of the fears with some of the leadership was, okay, well, could we do church electronically? And we've seen that we've been able to do it. We've been fortunate, but we had to make that trade-off. And even as we're having discussions about, okay, having in-person service, and even some of the things one of the questions that came up, it was funny because somebody brought up, oh, well, you know, people being able to get a CD of the service. And we had to remind them that, you know, we're putting everything on YouTube. So, you know, the day of having an actual CD to play a CD, and I gave an example of my wife and her car. You know, her car doesn't even have the capability to play a CD in it. And so, and I had to tell them, I said, you have to remember, we're now in a YouTube generation. So saying, you know, it goes back to Corey's point, you know, you got to do or die. You have to make the changes. I love the saying, I believe it was Babe Ruth who said, you know, yesterday's home run won't win today's game. Prime example, big time Dodgers fan, going into game 6, they couldn't bring those runs from game 5 into game 6. Especially the way Snell was pitching. And I don't want to go off on a tangent because that coach, but thank you, Kevin Nash, for that blunder for giving my team the championship. And we could talk about that another time. But the one thing is, you can't live off of yesterday's success. You have to make the necessary trades in order to continue to grow. And so one of the things I want to talk about, I want to share a quick story from this law, the law of trade-off. And it talks about, in this law, John talks about achieving the American dream, and he shares the story of Herman Cain. Now, those who know, Herman Cain, who recently passed away, his story was that he was an executive. He had a goal for himself that by the age of 36, he wanted to be a vice president, or actually by the age of 40, he wanted to be a vice president of an organization. You know, he was motivated. He did everything he could at Pillsbury. And ultimately, he became a vice president at Pillsbury. And so, you know, he was on the 36th floor. He had the assistant. He was in the corporate suite, and he had the suit and everything on. So he was looking good. And that's kind of the reason I have my suit on, is to give this example with Herman Cain. But also that he had a problem that came up. The issue was that he ultimately wanted to become a president. But in order to become president, his issue was he never had been involved in a part of the organization where he was dealing with profit and loss. And the only way he could ultimately become president within Pillsbury was he was going to have to make a trade. He was going to have to trade his vice president position in order to become a burger flipper at their Burger King division. So, giving you guys a picture, you guys see me in my suit. You see me with my suit and tie. So picture, this is Herman Cain, you know, the vice president, having the assistant in the corporate suite on the 36th floor, looking good, feeling good. So he has to give up this suit, and I'm gonna show you. He has to give up the suit. He has to take off the suit. He has to give up the suit and the tie. He's exchanging that. He's making an exchange. In order to become president, he has to become a burger flipper. So he gets that picture in your mind that you're an executive, but in order to get to where you really want to go, you have to give up the suit and tie and put on the burger flipper hat and shirt and flip burgers. Now get this. Also, when he went through the training, to become a burger flipper. He was the 4th assistant manager, 15 minutes away from where he was the vice president. So you see the big difference. And so that goes back to that opening statement where we'll cling to a lifestyle. And sometimes it's not unsatisfactory. Sometimes it's a good situation, but it's not a great situation. But Herman Cain wasn't looking at being comfortable. He was looking at being great. So he was willing to make that trade-off in order to reach where he wanted to go. So, and the one thing I love about it is that he wasn't worried about, okay, what his friends were going to say and saying, oh, Herman, you know, why are you wearing that Burger King outfit? You know, why don't you go back and put that suit back on that you know, where you were, that you used to wear? And so he wasn't focused on that. He was focused on where he was going. And so that's what I want to encourage you guys today is that we all have to make trade-offs in order to grow up. So as I close, you know, think about what is it that you're going to have to give up in order for you to grow up. So thank you guys. Once again, I appreciate, you know, sharing with you guys. I'll send the link for the opportunity to sign up for the mastermind that I have kicking off on November 2nd. But thank you guys once again.
Well, thank you, Dawood. I'm sure I can speak for you in this matter that if anybody has any further questions, you'd love to take them on either face-to-face or a one-on-one on a telephone call, right?
Yes.
Okay. We had a chair meeting for the networking groups on Monday, and all the usual suspects were there from the Chamber of Commerce. And the decision on when and how to open the chamber has been delegated to Michael Jacobson from the committee. And so we're still waiting to hear back from when we can go live. But our group, unfortunately, is probably going to be the last one allowed because we are so large and we have the largest cleaning. It'd be the most difficult to clean for them. Now, we talked about meeting in person. They weren't very encouraging on us meeting at a park or anything. However, you know, we can take, the weather's kind of turning against us in that matter anyway. But Becky and I and several other ones have talked about having a after hours event sort of picnic at River Legacy, say a 5:30 to 7:30, come and go as you like. Does anybody have any problems with that type of event?
I insist you start.
Awesome.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Becky, you and I have had this conversation. I'm thinking that it'll be very much easier for us to do that than it would be for us to have a meeting. I don't think we're ready to have a meeting that serves both remote people and the people that are there until we have a little bit more planning. I know, Corey, you and Paul have done some of these dual purpose meetings, and so we might want to get some of your expertise on what works and what doesn't work. What I'm hearing from the other chairs is the biggest problem is the audio. The planes going by, the street noise, that type of stuff. So I'd really like to get some feedback from Paul and Corey and anybody else that's done these hybrid Zoom meetings and face-to-face meetings.
Hey, Sam, your guy is actually going to be Dwayne because he led the efforts with the hybrid option at the at Sunrise, and they've done a brilliant job. So I'd say Dwayne's going to be one of your main guys to talk to with that because he's done it and they've been doing it successfully now for months and have gotten through the mic and the audio issues.
Oh, good. Well, we'll put him on our executive blue ribbon committee.
But you're not going to be able to get around the audio issues if you're outside. We were always inside.
Okay, well, those are the kind of things we need to do. And that's why I think it's going to be a lot easier for us to implement this River Legacy indoor-outdoor picnic. And the reason we say picnic is that way everybody will bring their own food. We won't have to share anything. We won't have to worry about anything. You bring your own chairs and you bring your own masks. And as Becky says, one of the strongest selling points is it's a beautiful facility and it has restrooms. So that's a strong selling point for it.
Hey, Sam, to clarify though, Jacobson still has to make the call, correct? Before any of this can start?
As far as, oh, no, we can do our, that's why I said we can do our after hours event. It doesn't necessarily have to be a chamber event. What I said is Jacobson has the committee's endorsement on when to open the facility. I'm sorry if I didn't make that clear.
Hey, Sam.
And they're going to, yeah, Dwayne.
Just kind of clarify on Michael Jacobson thing. Talked with him and Henry yesterday, and it is looking like he's going to use the benchmark of the what's the 15%, has something to do with COVID. The hospitalization, when they reach a certain percentage of hospital beds being taken, that's when they'll open, or not taken, I should say, available. That's when they'll decide to open it up. If it reaches a certain number, they'll shut it back down.
Yeah, well, thanks for the clarification, Dwayne. They weren't that specific on Monday when we had it. But the point for us is that we're going to be the last people invited into the building. That's a fact because we have the biggest group.
Hey, Sam, just to clarify one other point too, my only thing is, yes, totally in support of this. I think it's a great idea, but I think this needs to be run through the chamber just to make sure that everything's on the up and up, because there are liability issues that we talked about on BDAC, Business Development Advisory Committee, previously. So just to protect all of us and to cover our assets, literally liability wise, I definitely recommend, great idea, but you might want to run it through Jacobson and the chamber. Plus, we've got our BDAC chair actually on this call right now with Joni. So right. I think those are your main point, people, just to make sure everything's clear, because there are some liability possibilities with this, just in case things aren't enforced correctly.
Okay, well, I presented this on Monday during the chair's meeting, and they had I got no pushback whatsoever about the indoor-outdoor social event. But I agree with you, Paul. It'll make sense for us to socialize it up the food chain. So we will do that. But I'm just saying it's going to be easier to do the after-hours event than it is going to be to do the hybrid meeting. Yes, Corey.
Okay. In the meantime, because we've been talking about this for months, and I know the chamber's restricted on what they can do. Anybody have a problem if I send out an email to all of our members that, hey, let's go meet at J.R. Bentley's this evening at 5:30? Anybody got
Corey, you can invite anybody anywhere you want. However, I would suggest you wouldn't use exclusively our mailing list. Maybe invite some other people also.
Okay, I got other friends.
That's a fundraiser tonight for Arlington Sunrise Rotary.
Anyhow, you're going to start getting emails in. We're going to be doing stuff in the evenings, if you can come or not.
Okay, yeah, and that's the other chamber announcement that I needed to make, is that the events are starting virtually. I mean, they're continuing virtually. Tonight, there's a deal that the Hispanic people are doing. It looks pretty cool. And then on tomorrow at lunch, there's a small business lunch and award. And for once, you won't have to pay because you won't get lunch. You'll just be eating lunch and seeing the people getting their awards. But I encourage you to get involved, because I myself my level of activity has really dropped during the pandemic, and I want to see it get back up again. So without making anybody less safe, for sure. So we're at 1:02 now, and I'd hate to be disrespectful of your time. I will stay on. But anyone that has a pressing agreement, they can appointment, they can leave. And if you want to stay and have a word with one of the small groups, feel free to stay. But also have a good day, have a safe week, and watch out for trick-or-treaters.
Thank you, Sam.
Good evening, everybody, or good afternoon.
Hey, Corey, stay on for a minute.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm here.
I had that problem getting rid of your review when I went to where you told me to.
Okay.
It showed that I had 11 reviews, but you weren't one of them. As I scrolled top to bottom, I couldn't find you.
Yeah, you're on there.
I know, I see it. I can pull it up from Google, but when I go through the exercise you told me to do, it does not show
David Berg is the person that put that together.
Yeah, Sam, I had the same problem. You just have to keep scrolling, and then all of a sudden, the little scroll bar will just show up in the middle. Because I've got like 70, so it took me a while to find Corey's, and I did get frustrated. And then all of a sudden, the little scroll dot showed up in the middle of it, and I scrolled down, and there he was. And then I just, hit the three dots and deleted it. It took a little while, but it was the first time I ever did it, so
okay,
it was kind of goofy.
Hey, Joni, did you have any words from BDAC?
Well, I started to interject, but I was gone the last 2 weeks, so I didn't know if maybe Henry had given everybody an update. But the board approved after BDAC made a recommendation and concurred with a hybrid type event that were hybrid room, the Xerox room. They're going to move forward with putting in the audio portion. They've got some money set aside. That way we can start having in-person and Zoom hybrid meetings in the future. Don't know exactly when that date's going to be, but we again averaged 24 people today. And if their limit is 18 or 20 or 21 in person, we sign up, we come in person, and then the others Zoom. There's going to be some folks that will continue to Zoom for different reasons, and we let them do that. But that Xerox room will accommodate us eventually, I think. I mean, we're not past 24 yet, and I know we're trying to get back up and call the folks and get them, reassimilated. So.
Right. Well, thanks for helping us out with that, because that's pretty much chapter and verse what Henry said on Monday morning. And so, yeah, they're at least telling a consistent story that they're buying the equipment and they're outfitting that room.
They're working on it.
For hybrid meetings. So that's encouraging that there seems to be that much.
And now, Joni, that's why I kind of passed the floor to you, because you being our chair, I'm like, I don't want to speak for BDAC. So I'm like, hey, Joni's our chair. You can hit more to specifics, but I know we have covered this in BDAC ad nauseum the last 2 months straight, just to get these clarifications, because there's just a lot going on right now. And these hospital rates, I mean, they are going up, and you've got winter and everything else. I mean, the math isn't good right now, and it sucks, because we need to get together and meet. We need to have hybrid options, because that is the foundation of this group. I mean, Corey, you said it best. That is how these relationships are built. They're not necessarily built via Zoom, but we need to at least have this outlet for connection. I mean, I'll tell you guys right now, I'm still getting over a virus I've had for a week, and thank God it wasn't COVID. But you want to talk about a heck of a freaking health scare, where, I mean, there's just certain things right now. I mean, even my neighbor whose husband was in the hospital for a week, like, you might want to get tested. I'm like, I haven't been around anyone. So fortunately, being in that bubble, a few days later, it cleared. But I mean, it's scary now. You get even anything now, people thinking, well, where have you been? What have you done? Where's all the different events that you've gone to? And that's why I was making sure that you guys were talking about making sure it is run through the chamber, because that's going to protect us liability wise, because there are some liability concerns with this that Britton actually researched a little further at that BDAC meeting, because there's some things the chamber could be held responsible for if we're not utilizing the correct social distancing, the whole masks. And I get it. A lot of people don't like masks. I hate wearing a mask, but it's part of it to protect other people. And I think doing it at River Legacy is just absolutely ingenious. It's the perfect place to do it. And I know with Becky, you guys will be making sure every protection's in place, but we just have to ensure that that is done in concert with the chamber, just to wait, mainly just for liability. And that was the point I want to emphasize. I'm not trying to be the school teacher following all the rules, but it's just
I think we all agree, Paul.
Liability.
Yeah, well, I think we all agree, Paul. That's fine. My question to Becky is, how long in advance would we need to arrange for this?
Well, I happen to know somebody who would be our staff person there to allow us to be there. And, if we don't have anything, I can, I just need to know if we have anything, basically. And then, just everything right now is in flux. So we're going to do this, if that's okay, on that day, which is, I think, what we're all saying. But we probably need, I need about a week so that I can schedule one extra cleaning. We close for an hour in the day, and we clean ourselves. We do spot cleaning throughout the day with visitors, but we'd want to do an extra cleaning just for where people are going to be in the building. And that would take me about a week to schedule that with the company.
Okay, well, that sounds great. I mean, and I wouldn't really want to do it with less than 2 or 3, because it just wouldn't be as successful. You know, we
Right.
wouldn't have time to really promote it.
Plan anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, any other comments?
Can we bring drinks?
Yeah, I am.
UIOB, baby.
And a flask.
Exactly.
Dilly
dilly, brother. Dilly.
I will have to see if I have to have a police officer, but I think probably we'll have few enough people that I won't have to do that.
Corey has
You
guns.
got it.
He counts. Corey has guns. He counts for it. He can be the law.
Just don't show them.
Hey, just out of curiosity, because I don't want to get sued any more than anybody else does, but can we just have people sign a waiver if they're going to come in person, that they're coming in person at their own risk and everybody's going to do their best to be thoughtful, but it's your own decision, come or don't come? Because like all this seems ridiculous to me. Like
That's a chamber question.
I don't want to be sick or get anybody sick, but like we're all grown adults. Make your own decision. If you don't want to come, don't come. If you want to come, come.
The waiver's only good unless somebody dies. Not to be crude, but
Well, the odds of that happening is pretty low from COVID.
Yeah.
You got a better chance of getting run over by a bicycle or have some pedestrian run in front of you at River Legacy and having an accident, which is
Or losing a skateboard.
All right, yeah, that was funny. God, that was funny.
I think going back to the waiver thing, though, I mean, that would, again, have to be a chamber thing, but you're right. If you want to do a waiver, why not? I mean, the POTUS, to his credit, when he's doing these rallies, he's having people sign forms saying they can't sue him in case COVID happens. I mean, it's smart liability-wise to put in some sort of protection as long as it's in concert with the chamber.
Yeah, but we don't have an attorney handy to draw that up and make it right. I mean, there's a lot of holes in that thing.
We do contact tracing. So for people who come in, we have a, get their information, which we would do anyway, but that way, if we have anything, we have a contact trace.
The percentages are so low of actual death. I just don't see it being a problem.
Well, and the thing is that percentage is getting better now too, because they know how to treat it better. They know how to get people through it quicker. So, I mean, there are a lot of positives. The death rate has dropped, but it's just that hospital rate is just terrible right now, and it's only going to get worse. By the way, Sam, I love this idea. A little chat with the chair after these meetings. I think this is a great opportunity for people that want to stick around, can ask questions, maybe and get your autograph later if we're good.
Yeah, you might want to set your sights a little higher. Go for the other Sam Elliott.
We can
I thought you guys were the same.
Cool.
I thought I saw you in Roadhouse last week.
Yeah. Now this was kind of unintentional, but you're right, Paul. It's a good idea. We got a little behind on the schedule. I really tried to budget 10 minutes for the activity, and the discussion was the activity this week of what's going on with the chamber. But yeah, it's pretty easy to get behind schedule, right, Corey?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry about dragging on too long, but I had that issue I got to deal with.
No, I know that's. I was real surprised to hear about that yesterday.
It's the nature of the beast, man. I mean, I had to run a few of these suckers myself. It's difficult. When you got things to cover, you got things to cover. But I think if you're given an option like this at the end where we can, chit chat for a few minutes afterwards, I think it's a great option.
Well, actually, most of these people are not all that easy to get. So once you've got them on, you need to keep them for a while there. And I wanted, of course, to talk to Becky about the planning time that we need for that, because that's pretty important. And it might be a moot point. We probably don't need to have a hybrid meeting outdoors in November, December, or January. We've got plenty of time to plan for that, right?
Yeah. I was actually talking about an indoor hybrid meeting in our Learning Labs 1 and 2, and then the outdoor one was going to be our social, if you will.
Yeah.
When we do the social, I can show you the Learning Labs and then how we can do it on our big screen and spread out in 2 Learning Labs.
Well, I think we'd be quite remiss if we didn't have some type of touring available so you can show off the facility, right?
Sure, sure.
And if the weather's good, we could have a night with nature type walk or something like that. You know, there's all sorts of stuff we could do to showcase the stuff there. Lisa, did you have something to add?
You're muted. She's mute. You're muted.
I'm trying. Okay.
Oh.
Hi. No, I'm too cooped up. I want to do something. So I'm in for anything.
Okay. Okay. Well, that sounds great. I mean, Becky, I don't know if we're completely communicating all that well, but you know, there's a possibility that we're doing 2 events at your place. First,
Right.
the social event which I'm calling a picnic, and then at some point in time we could have an indoor-outdoor hybrid meeting there.
Yeah.
Require a higher level of integration with the chamber.
So since it's going to take you a week to plan it out, we've got the election next week. God knows what's going to happen. How about the week after that when the dust clears?
Yeah,
we are
probably
going to
40 some odd % of the people will want to have a stiff drink by that time.
I'm about to say a lot of people are going to want to drink, so BYOB will be a huge hit.
Flight of shooters.
So what day would we want to do it on?
Well, you know, we kind of are running up into Thanksgiving.
Not quite yet. We got a couple weeks.
Well, one of the announcements I failed to make was our meeting on the 12th, which is 2 weeks from now. The chamber has requested that we forego having our regular format and have a fireside chat with them, because they want to meet with the members directly. So I canceled Tom Vance as our speaker, and depending on the time they need, we may not even do the 30-second commercials. But I do think it's going to be a wonderful opportunity for all of you guys to have
So is this like all the networking groups meeting, or what? Okay.
Actually, they're meeting with in the regular meeting time. They're going to be sending Britton and probably Henry and maybe even Sherry, because they were on the call the other day, to say this is what the chamber's doing now, and that's what we're, you know.
So we'll have a regular meeting, regular time, but they're going to be participating and kind of running it. Is that right?
Yeah, well, yeah, they'll control the message, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of Q&A.
Well, that's not what I was trying to say. It's still the same time, same Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, they're doing a focus group, because that's what they mentioned in the email to us last week. Was they're trying to get more feedback from the members with everything that's changing, how everything's evolving, the whole Zoom thing. They're really just trying to get feedback from members, because as you guys mentioned, 58 people that are listed, but a lot of them have gone out of business. And I think they're really wanting to touch base with that and really help with the inactives, which I think the plan that you guys have said is great, with just really doing a reach out and just saying, hey, you know, who's still here and who still wants to participate.
Well, my short-term plan with this, Paul, was to push out this list, and I would put an extra column in it to who I know is completely inactive, and then we could have on a volunteer basis, people pick 2 or 3 of the members that they will reach out to, because I don't feel like calling 23 inactive members myself. You know,
I've been making a point to call people I haven't seen when I have time.
Right, but I think we could have a more organized effort if I pushed out this list and people volunteered to call, like we do with the ambassadors corps, you know.
Yeah.
So that'll be part of the next list that comes out.
But I'm saying that Peggy Ann Pratt is somebody that's going to drop out of the chamber for a bit, because she's getting a double whammy right now, taking care of her mom, who's like 101, and her ex-husband, he's got Parkinson's. She just can't do it.
Yeah,
So
well, there's a lot of.
Would like to come back once all that's over with.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm working on the list here, and we did get the list in Excel. So
yeah, great.
You requested that, and we got that. They were very prompt in turning that over. And Paul, I'll be sending out the list to everybody, and so you can manipulate it as you want.
Well, I mean, that's the biggest thing. The fact that we're able to get the list and they got it to you, that was the most important thing, because there's really being let's just say, an area of opportunity. I won't go too deep into it, but we've needed to have that proper list for about 2 years. So the fact that we now have it, and the fact that you guys want to do something with it, that just gives me a lot of faith in you guys. And I really respect the fact that you guys are putting the work in to get this thing done. And that way there's a lot less mystery with who's doing what in this group.
And can we get that Excel spreadsheet list so we can?
Yeah, Corey, listen.
With the contact information.
Well, the short-term plan is for me to push out this list in Excel with notification of ones that we know are inactive. Then I'd like to get the feedback from each one of you guys of who you want to call. Third, I'd like to have the input to primarily Becky, what we want to incorporate on this Excel spreadsheet, because you don't want to have it where you got to print it in landscape. You don't want to do it where you have more, or you shrink it down so much where you can't see it. You know, there's a really, I don't want Becky to have to do it 3 times.
Well, if you have their names, their contact information, their business, anybody that has the spreadsheet can manipulate the way they want once it's there. I mean,
or they can add a column if they want.
Becky, you set it the way you want. And then
that's
list,
the beauty of
at least
Excel.
have it, we can manipulate it the way we want.
Well, and I like Kelly's idea. You know, she mentioned about having the 2 tablets, and I think she's still on here. So if she's still on, Kelly, if you want to chime in on that, I really like your idea having the 2 tabs.
Yeah, so you can do it both in Excel and Google Spreadsheets, and I believe you can simply copy paste from Excel to Google Spreadsheets. So you just have a couple tabs on it, and so one tab can probably, the first one can be the current active paid up list, but then instead of deleting people off the list, simply just move them to a past members list. So that way, if we ever want to get a hold of anybody for any reason, whether it be, hey, you should rejoin, or whether it be, hey, I need your help with something, or whatever it is, that way it's just there and we don't have to hunt it up. And I think everybody has access to Google if they want to.
I agree with what you're saying, but I think it's great, and we need to do it that way, because you have certain people, like I think Jason Casanovas, he lost his job right off the bat with Thrive. Right. These people are going to resurface with another business at some point and could possibly join us again. So we can keep in contact with them.
And you know, as you say that, I think it would also be a good idea if people are willing. Obviously, you know, they can do what they want, but if they want to give their personal number as well as their business number, and for me, it's one and the same. And so it's just always been that, and I've never thought of it. But like you said, with Jason not actually working there anymore, I would love to contact him because he's just a good person. You know what I mean? And so the other thing we'd want to do with that, though, is probably have a really big highlighted, cannot miss it instruction page or instruction note that says, like, if you're making personal changes to this list, copy it for yourself. Don't, because if you change the shared document, it changes it for everybody. So either like make it view only or something, so that you don't just have Hobo Joe going in and changing stuff and messing it up. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
So Sam, are you good with all this? Because I think these are a lot of great points. I know some of it's a little techie, but I'm sure Kelly can maybe even help with some of those tabs if there's any issues.
Yeah. We're going to have to create another committee for this. I mean, Becky and David and I can't handle all this stuff in addition to regular business.
Well, if you guys will get me whatever list you have in Excel, then I'll create it in Google Sheets.
And Corey, you're good with helping with the audits? Because that's pretty much your committee right there. Corey's been auditing for years for this group.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Done. There you go, Sam. Solutions every day, baby.
Yeah, right. Hey, identifying the problem is not the big deal. It's implementation of the solution, right?
Hey guys, tell me what I need to do, because I've got to go eat my delivered lunch with my son.
Send us the Excel spreadsheet with the information, and we'll start working on it.
Yeah, Becky, I'll push that out, because I have that I'm going to classify them as
Okay.
inactive there, and then you can do whatever you want to do, and we'll get it out
Okay,
to the group.
sounds
Okay.
good.
Have
Thank
bon
you.
appetit.
Thank you.
Enjoy it,
And
y'all.
then I
Say hi to
will.
Neil. Say hi to
Um,
Neil.
Will you end the meeting because Robert had to cut out?
Well, are you? Yeah, I'll end the meeting whenever
Okay.
they're ready. Done.
Thanks,
with
guys.
it.
I think we're good, guys. Great stuff. And again, thank you guys.
All right, everybody.
Talk to you
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
See ya.